What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax with the top 35 prospects on the Bowman 2023 First Chrome and First Auto checklist. Now, this product is set to release on April 26th. And overall, I think it's a really good checklist with a lot of potential, which is why I put 35 players on this video. If you guys want to see my full breakdown of over 115 prospects on this checklist, I have it over on Patreon. I'll put a link to that in the video description. Now, players are going to be ranked in tiers based on the Let's Talk Wax ranking system that you see in front of you, and the order in which the players are inside a given tier really has no significance. And I want to also mention that the players with asterisks are the players with first Chrome cards only that do not have autos, and the rest of the players either have a first Chrome Auto or a first Chrome and first Auto. But if you want to take a snapshot of the Let's Talk Wax ranking system, just remember that this is based on player ceiling, the best possible outcome for a player, and you can reference it throughout the duration of this video. We're going to start this off with a couple of tier 3 players, which provides a ceiling of above average MLB player. And we're going to kick it off with ARIEL, ALMONTE, who was the number 25 ranked international prospect in the 2021 class, signing with the Reds for just under $2 million. He's listed at 6'1", but if you check out some video, he already looks like a grown man in the batter's box. The physical ceiling is pretty high here if he continues to add quality strength to his frame. He makes loud contact and posted a 200 plus ISO in the complex league at 18 while hitting just under 200. His K percentage spiked a bit in 2022, but he's taken his fair share of walks throughout his early career. His most dominant tool is his bat, which has a much higher ceiling than many of the teenagers on this checklist. There also isn't much competition in his way in the Reds' outfield prospect pool. Next, we have Emmanuel Bonilla. The Cubs dished out just over $4 million for the toolsy Bonilla, who ranked at number 7 in the 2023 international class. We can only go off projection as he's just recently turned 17 with no professional experience to date. While the tools are there, it's hard to determine how these youngsters will pan out in the minor leagues at such a young age. We're going to move on to several tier 2.5 players, which rank between organizational star and above average MLB player. And first, we're going to kick it off with Zach Geloff. Geloff doesn't have any plus tools, but he's a very well-rounded player who can hit for average power and steal a few bags here and there. He was Oakland's second-round pick in 2021 out of the University of Virginia. He posted career K percentages higher than I like for a college bat, but he also has 2 consecutive 10% walk rate seasons. He struggled in the Arizona Fall League in 2022, but had a great 2023 spring training where he hit .320 and was 8 for 25. I see him as a higher floor player that could have an above average big league ceiling. Next, we have Ruben Santana, who's yet another youngster on this checklist that falls into the 2 to 3 range of the Let's Talk Wax ranking system after a strong showing in the DSL. Santana was good for a .316 batting average with 10 extra base hits and 15 stolen bases across 163 plate appearances in his professional debut. He also posted excellent K numbers, walking in over 15% of his plate appearances in 2022. Santana has yet to play anywhere but third base, where his arm strength will allow him to have success at the hot corner. He's 6 foot tall and has room to add quality mass that could help him increase his above average raw power. Roman Anthony was drafted out of high school by the Boston Red Sox in the supplemental 2nd round. He's got a very projectable body at 6'2", with some room to add more strength as he develops physically. He's got some thump in his bat that didn't show up in his pro debut, but he hit for average and walked more than he K'd as a 17-year-old in his first taste of the minor leagues. He posted some high ground ball to fly ball rates, but they came over an 83 plate appearance sample size. With limited numbers to go off of, it's really hard to rank him accurately. Anthony's speed and defensive upside lag way behind his offensive projection. Going into our next slide, we have Pedro Ramirez, who has a plus hit tool and plus speed, which he showed off across 3 levels between 2021 and 2022. He solidified his skills in 2022, hitting .329 in the complex league at age 18. The big question with Ramirez is whether the power will show up as he develops physically. He's currently 5'8" and doesn't produce high-level exit velocities. His power has always been subdued by a 1+ ground ball to fly ball rate throughout his career. While it's unlikely, in-game power could be a powerful accelerant to his future. Next, we have Nico Poako Grego. The New Zealand native was one of the youngest players in the complex league in 2022, playing at nearly 3 years below the league average age. The age difference didn't seem to hinder his performance as he showed the ability to hit for a ton of solid contact with elite K numbers for a player his age. Grego was able to hit 3 home runs and 6 doubles in 125 complex league plate appearances to bring his ISO up to 165. The bat will be the leading tool here as he's quite limited to second base and third base defensively. Grego looked on pace to break out in 2023, but a torn ACL in the Australian Baseball League has set back his development and timetable for return in 2023. Next we have Michael Arroyo, who was the number 41 ranked prospect in the 2022 international class. He had a blowout year in the Dominican Summer League, hitting for average, fringe power, and solid ground ball to fly ball rates. The thing that stands out most about Arroyo is his advanced approach, backed up by a 13.6 walk rate and a 16.6 K rate. Numbers that are very rare among 17-year-old players. He may end up sliding off of shortstop as he doesn't have any plus tools outside of his bat, but his approach will help him have success in the upper minors and also allow him to effectively translate potential raw power in game. Lisandro Rodriguez had a great professional debut in the DSL in 2021 and entered the 2022 season in the Complex League. His 5 home runs and 4 doubles in 95 plate appearances juiced his ISO up to a whopping 256. After his promotion to low A, he continued to hit, but his in-game power didn't show up across 72 plate appearances. He's held great career K percentages and has shown the ability to hit for average across 3 levels. The big question will be how much more power he runs into as he moves up the Royals farm system. He's got a low defensive ceiling, already playing the majority of his games at second base at age 20. Finishing out this slide is Kenny Gomez, who had a solid start to his professional career in the DSL in 2022. He hit for average and a bit of power, 4 home runs, 5 doubles, and 2 triples. He's got good enough speed to possibly make an impact in the upper levels of the minor leagues and the ability to reach base by hitting and taking walks. The Astros system is loaded with outfield talent, and Gomez is another one to put on this list. A larger sample size stateside will give us a better look of how it'll pan out in 2023. Now, if you guys enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, check out my exclusive content over on Patreon. I've got Bowman Chrome autograph checklist breakdowns for all releases 2019 to 2023, a top 100 Bowman Chrome autographs list, a recently updated top 100 Bowman Chrome autos under $50 list, Chrome First and Chrome First Auto searchable database, a private Let's Talk Wax Discord server, 24 hours early access to all video info, and free monthly giveaways. And as I mentioned, if you want to help support the channel, I'll put a link to it in the video description. Continuing on with our tier 2.5 players is JUAN, who was traded to the Guardians for Nolan Jones prior to the 2023 season. He has an advanced approach at the plate and plus contact skills that have allowed him to hit right around the 300 mark across every level of his career. He's grown into a bit of power, putting up career-high ISOs and home runs in 2022. He stole 17 bases in low A, which shows me he won't be much of an impact runner in the upper levels. He's a solid player who looks to have a pretty high floor, and depending on what he does with his power output in 2023, could become a bit more of a ceiling guy. Next is Hector Rodriguez, one of the better contact hitters on this checklist and has outstanding K numbers for his age. He posted a 10.2 K percentage across 3 different levels in 2022 with 12 doubles, 8 triples, and 3 home runs. He's a solid athlete who has plus speed, but has yet to really show it on the base paths in game. He's been shifted out of the infield to center field in the Reds system. Power will be the big question mark here, as all the other tools seem to be way above average. Hao-Yu Lee is next on this list, and he didn't waste much time getting to work after being signed in 2021. He had an excellent pro debut that year and continued to produce offensively in 2022, hitting .284 with a 158 ISO. Lee is an average runner and won't impact games with his speed on the bases. He's played all over the infield throughout his career, but will most likely end up at the keystone. His K numbers are plus for his age, and making a lot of quality contact will help him to increase his in-game power as he grows. Glider Figueroa is yet another bat-first prospect, standing at just over 6 feet and yet to turn 19. He's got significant raw power, which translated in-game during the 2022 season in the Complex League, where he hit 9 homers in 146 plate appearances. His contact tool has been a bit inconsistent between levels, but he held great K numbers in both levels with the highest sample sizes. He's listed as a third baseman, but he will likely end up in a corner outfield spot, which will put more pressure on his bat. Figueroa will most likely start the 2023 season in low A, and hopefully he trends in the direction of his Complex League performance in 2022. Wrapping up this slide is Gabriel Gonzalez, who is a bat-first corner outfield prospect who has the ability to hit for both average and power. He's not going to be an impact runner or on the defensive side of the ball, so the bat will have to stand out. He's yet to post a career K percentage higher than 15 at any level, so there isn't much swing and miss going on here. He almost makes too much contact, supported by his sub-10 walk percentages over his career. Gonzalez's bat has fared quite well in the lower minors, but it will have to continue to do damage to make up for his lack of defensive upside and speed. Damon Keith was drafted in the 18th round of the 2021 draft out of California Baptist University. He stands at 6'3" and ranks among the top power hitters in the Los Angeles Dodgers farm system. During the 2022 season, he was good for 17 home runs and 27 doubles between low A and high A. While he's destined for a corner outfield spot, he's got one of the bigger bats in the organization with the ability to hit for power, average, and take walks. He's posted a 25 plus K percentage at 2 different levels, which puts him in my fringe range, and he's also got career high ground ball to fly ball rates. I'm anxious to see what he can do over the course of a full year between high A and double A in 2023. He's a big bat with exceptional upside here that could make a significant jump in the Los Angeles Dodgers rankings in 2023. Wrapping up our tier 2.5 players is Axel Sanchez, who was raised by diehard Guns N' Roses fans and had a blowout year in 2022 where he destroyed low A at 19. He's only 5'10", but has shown the ability to pack a bit of a punch with the stick, posting a .313 ISO 152 plate appearances in low A. He's got the ability to stick at shortstop defensively and should only continue to blossom with exceptional player development in the Mariners system. While his K percentage spiked along with his performance in low A, he's held better K numbers at different levels. If he can repeat his low A performance or even come close to it in high A, expect this stock to jump significantly in 2023. We're going to jump into our tier 2 prospects, which have a ceiling of organizational star. Spencer Jones is first on this list and was the Yankees' first round pick in the 2022 draft out of Vanderbilt. He stands at a towering 6'7" and generates plus raw power in his left-handed swing that was good for 4 home runs and 106 plate appearances in his 2022 debut. Jones has above average speed and played center field in every defensive outing between the complex league and low A. While long-levered players like Jones are often subject to longer swings and higher K rates, Jones managed to keep his K rate under 20 at 2 levels. He posted an elevated ground ball to fly ball rate in low A, which may have suppressed some power. Jones will probably be a bit expensive on release, and it's hard to tell how his long levers will fare against upper minors arms. His projection could probably put him in the 1.5 range, but I'll need to see some production in double A before I go that high. Peyton Graham was the Tigers' second round pick in the 2022 draft out of the University of Oklahoma, where he had 20 home runs and 34 stolen bases for the Sooners during his junior year. Graham is an athletic infielder who has already shown a significant speed-power combo over the course of a large sample size in the Big 12. He made his professional debut in low A, where he didn't replicate his NCAA numbers, hitting .270 with a 100 ISO and some fringe at best K numbers. Depending on how he adjusts his approach at the plate, Graham could have a breakout year in 2023 due to his abundance of tools. I'm a bit shocked Mervis Martinez isn't on the MLB.com organizational top 30 list. He's already a towering 6'3" and posted a 200 plus ISO with 7 home runs as a fresh 17-year-old in the Dominican Summer League in 2022. He's athletic enough to stick at shortstop, at least in the lower minors, and has a plus arm if he needed to slide to third base. He posted a sub 10% walk rate, but he was also one of the youngest players in the DSL in 2022. Martinez is a guy who could absolutely explode in 2023, especially in a system that does a great job of developing young bats. Lazaro Montes is one of the top power bats in the 2022 international class, where he ranked number 8. He was good for 10 home runs and a .301 ISO in his professional debut in the DSL. He's bat first all the way, but it could be a big one as he adds strength to his 6'3" frame. He takes his fair share of walks, but there is some swing and miss tendencies justified by his 33.2% K rate. You won't find many 17-year-olds with this level of juice, but with his high K rate, I'm hesitant of how much power he will get to in the upper minors. Gabriel Martinez isn't quite as tall as Lazaro Montes at 5'9", and he's also bat first. He doesn't have game-changing speed or much defensive value, but his bat is continuing to blossom, especially in the power department where he more than doubled his ISO from 2021. He posted excellent K numbers in the complex league that year, but his power output in 2022 came at the cost of a much lower walk rate. He's still yet to record a K percentage higher than 17 at any level. That is especially impressive for a 19-year-old in high A. Edouard Julien has some of the best strike zone discipline in the minor leagues and posted incredible walk rates at every level since 2021. His patience at the plate was so great that it may have had a bit of a negative impact on his contact rate in high A, where he put up a career-high 29% K rate. Julien has big raw power, but it was subdued a bit in double A with a menacing 1.74 ground ball to fly ball rate. He's got solid speed on the bases and could take bags from pitchers with elevated times to the plate. Offensively, his bat is good enough to get him to the major leagues, but his lack of defensive prowess may make it more difficult. Our final Tier 2 player on this list is Carlos Jorge. Jorge is molding into a high-profile speed power prospect after posting 2 consecutive seasons with a 200-plus ISO and nearly 30 stolen bases. He's not a physical specimen standing at 5'10", but has shown he can pack some thump. His K percentage cranked up into the fringe category in 2022, but he also took a healthy amount of walks to aid his approach. It's not always a safe bet to make big decisions on DSL complex league stats, but Jorge has crushed both levels without any age level discrepancy. I love speed power guys, but we won't really get a feel for his ability on the base pass until he reaches high A. He's a guy to watch closely in 2023 as he's already climbed up 12 spots in the Reds farm system since 2022. Vaughn Brown is going to lead off our tier 1.5 players, which have a ceiling somewhere between MLB superstar and organizational star. Brown was found hiding at Florida Southern, a small D2 school, and taken in the 10th round of the 2020 draft, losing his first year of professional baseball to the COVID pandemic. Vaughn and Mervis are only the two players I've exempted from the 24+ age cutoff on this checklist, but for good reason. Brown is a tool shed who has hit for average, power, and stolen bases at will in his first 2 seasons of pro baseball, but against much younger competition. Brown has all-star potential, but will have to prove his worth in AA in 2023. He's held high K percentages across 3 levels, but it didn't seem to impact his production yet. A 1.5 right now is a bit aggressive for a 21-year-old who has yet to play a full season in AA, so he'll have to have a big year in 2023 to keep it. Randy DeJesus was the number 38 ranked international prospect in the 2022 class. He stands at a whopping 6'4" with above average speed and plus arm strength. DeJesus has a gigantic power ceiling based on his physical makeup. He's already tapped into a bit, tallying a near 200 ISO in the DSL with 7 home runs and 13 doubles in 210 plate appearances. Although his walk rate was sub 10, he only K'd in 21.4 of his at-bats. DSL stats are kind of tricky because I've seen my fair share of players who come stateside and struggle after performing well in the DSL. With that being said, DeJesus has undeniable power that he's just beginning to tap into at a fresh 18 years of age. Justin Henry Malloy was the 6th round pick in the 2021 draft and played through 3 levels all the way to AAA in 2022 in just his 2nd professional season. Malloy is a very approach-based hitter, having yet to post a sub 14% walk rate at any level in the minors. He's got a nice blend of contact and power in his bat with a .285 career minor league batting average and 17 home runs and 28 doubles to his name in 2022. He finished off an amazing sophomore season in the Arizona Fall League where he continued to rake. Malloy may not win any gold gloves at third base or in left field, but the bat would profile nicely at either position. Justin Crawford, the son of Carl Crawford, is one of the most athletic players on this checklist and could grow into a 5-tool caliber outfielder depending on which way his power numbers go. After his 13th overall selection in the 2022 draft, he had a hot start to his pro career but went ice cold after his promotion to low A. Crawford has impact speed on the bases and in center field where he could profile as an elite defender. He was very inconsistent over 2 levels in 2022, so I'll have to wait until 2023 to get a better assessment and a more accurate rank. Junior Caminero is another one of the bigger bats on this checklist and consistently shows the ability to hit for both average and power throughout his career. He possesses incredible raw power for his age, and while he can get a bit aggressive sometimes, he's yet to post a 20+ K percentage throughout his entire career. He'll need to do a better job of getting the ball in the air, but he was good for 11 home runs in 2022 with elevated ground ball to fly ball rates. The bat drives the car here as he's an average runner and average defensive upside at third base. Rounding up this slide of 1.5 tier players is Joshua DePaula. DePaula is a big bat and put it to work in the DSL in 2022, posting a .349 batting average with a 172 ISO and elite K numbers for a 16-year-old. He already stands around 6'3" and could run into some serious power output as he adds quality mass. While he stole 16 bags in the DSL, there's a good chance his in-game speed won't translate as significantly in the upper minors. His defensive upside in the outfield isn't great, but it won't matter much if his bat continues to walk the talk. Barry is one of the top NCAA bats in the 2022 draft as he hit .360 with a .295 ISO and a 14.6 K percentage is one of the toughest conferences in college baseball. He's bat first all the way, even spending time as a DH in college, which will put a lot of pressure on his bat in professional baseball. He had a lackluster pro debut for a 6th overall selection, but it was a small sample size of around 15 plate appearances. 2022 was his first experience playing competitive baseball with a wooden bat, and it may have been a bit of an adjustment. I'll give him a 1.5 for now due to his track record in college, but he'll have to make some improvements in 2023 to keep that high of a rank with little to no defensive value. Drew Jones, the son of Andrew Jones, was selected 2nd overall in the 2022 MLB draft out of high school. He's got double-plus athleticism and already stands around 6'4" at age 19. He suffered a shoulder injury after signing with the D-backs in 2022 and has yet to make his professional debut in the minors. There are no questions surrounding his ability to mold into an elite center fielder, but he'll have to wait for a full healthy season to see how the bat plays out in pro ball. I have no doubt that he will be the top selling auto on release day. Before we dissect the stat lines, I want to point out that De Los Santos hasn't played even remotely close to the league average age at any level in his entire career. The D-backs have put a ton of pressure on the youngster's bat, but he's handled himself quite well. He hit .278 with a .228 ISO in high A at a fresh 19 years old, which is very uncommon. De Los Santos has chart-topping raw power for his age, and he's posted elite-level exit velocities topping out around 113 miles per hour. There are two major kickbacks here, which are his aggressive approach and propensity to hit the ball on the ground. If he can improve his approach at the plate and get the ball in the air a bit more, he could be an impact middle-of-the-order bat down the road. Our final Tier 1.5 player is Cam Collier, who was selected 18th overall by the Reds in the 2022 draft out of high school. He's a pretty well-built teenager standing a couple inches over 6 feet. He has a powerful left-handed swing that is capable of doing significant damage. I watched some video and his pitch recognition looked to be way above average for his age. He also walked more than he K'd in the complex league in his professional debut. He doesn't have much speed, but his strong arm will profile well at third base. Collier is a big left-handed bat with exceptional contact and power traits mixed in with an advanced approach for his age. He could rocket up the top 100 rankings in 2023. And our final and only Tier 1 superstar ceiling caliber player is Smash Mervis. When you have a defensive ceiling at first base, this is what you want your offensive numbers to look like. He's such a prolific bat, I exempted him from the age chopping block. Mervis had one of the most dominant offensive campaigns in 2022, hitting .309 with a .297 ISO and 36 home runs across 3 levels. He's bat first all the way and a dinosaur in the hobby age-wise, but he can flat out rake. He didn't have a great spring training in 2023 and was sent to AAA to start the season, where he already hit a dinger on opening day. I'm guessing he'll be up in the big leagues with the club in about a month or two. Before you guys leave, don't forget to check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to help support the channel. You can also find downloadable data sheets over on letstalkwax.com for almost all of my videos. A quick shout out to all my Patreon level 3 sponsors and everyone else who supports me over on Patreon. I want to know who you guys are going to be chasing on this release. It's a good one and it's loaded up with young players and small sample sizes. It releases on April 26th. So let me know in the comments who you're going to be chasing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Y'all have a great day.